coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world. It's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from the Palatial Studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Announcer. It is a Tuesday, May the 11th, 2021.
Can we all please get back to work?
Yeah, we can get back to work. That's not a problem. We can take care of that.
I am physically here, so that's something.
Yeah, well, that is something that you're physically here. I greatly appreciate it.
I love a man who's got good taste in chocolate.
Yeah, well, I like all types of chocolate. Dark chocolate, white chocolate, light brown chocolate. Definitely all types of chocolate, without a doubt. It is 6:07. Can we get that certified, please?
It's now 6:07 a.m.
And at top of the morning to you, Miss Bonnie, what type of chocolate do you like?
My favorite is from Sweden. It's the Swiss chocolate Toblerone.
Toblerone. Never heard of that before.
You can find it on the shelves at Walgreens. I've found it before.
Oh.
And it is delicious. Milk chocolate, too, is the chocolate that I prefer.
Okay.
And the dark chocolate's supposed to be a little bit better for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having those antioxidants and stuff, but
Right.
but I do prefer the milk chocolate.
Okay, very good. I don't know why they call it milk chocolate. Why can't they just call it chocolate? Think about that for a minute. Let that sit in first.
Maybe because it's whiter or lighter and seems kind of milky or something.
I don't know.
Like a
That's
milk.
a good question for Google.
That is.
Why do they call it milk chocolate?
Yeah, because is there milk in the chocolate to make
Yeah.
it maybe a little bit
Think about that.
less dark, rich tasting?
Think about that. I can understand dark chocolate, but milk chocolate. Why do they call it milk chocolate? Is there milk in the chocolate?
There is.
That's the $1 million question.
The word derives from, oh, good gosh, this is a big one.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Zoxoclati from Nuart, the language of the Aztecs, influenced by the Yucatan Mayan word chocol hot, with the natural word of water.
That's a lot to take in.
The first instance
609.
of milk chocolate appeared soon after referring to a drink of chocolate combined with milk.
That is brain overload for me. That is completely brain overload.
That was
This
for me,
early in the
too.
morning. Wow. I'm way lost on that one.
Not too much overload on the brain. The dark chocolate I usually like comes from our friend Pittsburgh Deb when she makes the delicious turtles
Oh,
on
yeah.
occasion. Like
I can't
she's
have those.
done during holidays. I know because they have the
Nuts.
pecans in
Yeah, they
it,
got
right?
nuts in them.
They do have
So
nuts
nutty
in them.
turtles, as they call them.
You know, she could make them rich and delicious without the nuts, and they would be just as enjoyable.
So that would be a nutless turtle. That didn't sound
Yeah, a
right.
turtle without nuts. It would be. It would be.
Sound right.
Well,
Okay.
but without the nuts, can you still call it a turtle?
I don't know. Be a nutty turtle, I guess. I have no idea. So how was your day yesterday when you get out of here? What'd you do?
Plenty of massage.
Yeah?
Yeah, and boy, did the day go by fast because
Okay.
I had to knock out 3 in a row, you know,
Okay.
right when I got to work.
What time would you get there at 10 o'clock?
10, and I worked all the
Okay.
way on up till 1:30.
Wow.
Yeah,
Are your hands
Doing
tired
massage.
when you do 3 back-to-backs?
never. During the first week doing it, they will hurt. Like
Yeah.
you get a little sore in areas, but then
Okay.
they tell you to go and stick your hands in ice water at night,
right.
of all things. But you know, which I never did when I first started. But after that first week or two, the soreness goes away.
Mhm.
It's like you don't even feel it. You get
Really?
conditioned to it, I guess.
I guess it's like learning how to play the guitar. After the first week or two, your fingertips don't hurt anymore because you get calluses on your fingertips
Yeah,
from playing, so you get used to it.
yeah. I took some more CEUs too during this weekend,
Oh,
and I took the thing about the pelvis and the sacrum, the iliac crest. I was learning about.
what are those? I know what the pelvis is, but what is a sacrum and the iliac crest?
Iliac crest
What is that?
I think it connects it's like some kind of a connected tissue that connects the pelvis to certain areas of your joints.
Oh,
It's
okay.
kind of like a connector in that whole system of anatomy.
Oh.
But anyway, it was a 5-hour course, and I hate to say, but it was really, really boring.
Why did I know you were going to say that? 5 hours in the front of the computer? Yeah, that'd be a little boring at times.
But you would be surprised with anatomy, all
Mhm.
of the bones and the parts. Oh, something I did take out of it, I learned that the male pelvis is larger than the female pelvis
Okay.
to hold all of your goods.
Okay.
I mean, it
Interesting.
kind of makes sense.
Okay.
And the female pelvis is a little bit wider for childbirth.
Okay. Very
Kinda makes
interesting.
sense.
Very interesting. Yeah.
So I took something away from the course.
Now, when you take these courses that I call them education hours. But when you take these courses, do you get a certificate at the end? Do you have to save these certificates?
Yeah, they sent me a
Um,
certificate. I don't know if I'm going to save it, but the important matter of it is you want to get 20 that goes
Mhm.
to the CE board in Florida.
Okay.
So it goes to
What
the
does CE stand for?
certified continuing education.
Okay.
Continuing education.
Okay.
So the board of Florida knows that
Right.
you are certified. And if I don't get all of my 24 credits by August 31st
Mhm.
of 2021, I am not allowed to work in massage.
So you can't renew your license is basically,
Yeah.
excuse me, what it is.
Yep, they will not.
So
send
without
you
those
a-
credits, okay. So now who's to say, this is just argument, not argument, but this is hearsay talk. Who's to say that somebody doesn't log online and they start the videos or whatever it is, and they
Yes.
just walk away and let it run for 5 hours?
Do people really do that?
Oh yeah. Of course. But I mean, who's to say?
Actually, I cheated a little bit too. Like on Saturday, I don't know if you were looking at Facebook, but
I saw you.
I took a picture of
I
Sandy
saw you.
Sandy Cohen. Did you see him?
I saw it.
That nice
Yeah.
looking man on the OC who
Yeah.
wants his sons to do everything right,
Mhm.
and education is very important to him.
So really,
And I
there's nobody to babysit you when you're taking your education hours. It's
Yeah.
kind of like on the honor system.
So I took a picture of Sandy Cohen too at that. It was just a moment where he was looking
Right.
down like, oh my gosh.
Right.
So I put a Facebook post and, said that I was kind of, cheating on my online classes by watching the OC, and Sandy Cohen would say, Bonnie, that's just not right.
Yeah. Bonnie, that's just not right.
But I do watch, I do watch some of it, and some of it does take me back to
Mhm.
massage class, and
Right.
we learned a lot of anatomy
Right.
during massage, and we had a great teacher in
Mhm.
Dr. Griffin,
Mhm.
who is also a chiropractor,
Oh wow.
and he taught us muscles.
Mhm.
Like, I learned so many muscles and muscle groups when I was in that class,
Right.
and he made it really interesting.
So there's nobody there to basically babysit from the board. It's really on the honor. It's really on the honor system.
Yeah,
is
and
what
you
it
know
is.
what? This is actually, I would be sitting in a classroom at this time, in a live classroom,
Mhm.
but because of COVID-19,
Yeah, you have to do it online.
the standards changed for just, on up to 2021. I
Right.
don't know what 2023 is going to bring when we have to renew, but we
Okay.
don't have to, we're not required to be in a classroom this year. We can,
Could you sit in a classroom for 5 straight hours?
we have done it
You've
before.
done that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gary and I, a
Oh my
couple of years
gosh.
ago, we attended class where I think we went to like a all day 10 or so hour class.
Mhm.
And they, you take breaks in between and you get a lunch break, but
Mhm.
yeah, you could be there for a good 10 hours.
Now, how often do you have to renew your license? How long is your license valid for?
Every 2 years.
So every 2 years, you must renew your massage license. That's the MA number,
Yep,
correct?
That is, you're right.
Okay. All
It
right.
is.
Very good. See, I know something about
You do.
that.
How did you know that?
I'm not going to say. I can't
Huh.
give away all my secrets.
But that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
And I'm not going to give out mine.
No.
But-
No, absolutely not. I wouldn't ask you to, because then somebody would commit fraud.
They could.
And they could scam your MA number, and then they could pretend to be you, put your picture on,
Yeah.
a license, and I'm sure people have done that
And
before.
if I went to another state, like say I wanted to go work in maybe let's say Tennessee where
Mhm.
George is.
Yeah, you have
or
to
is he in
take their
Kentucky.
You have to take their state boards.
Yeah.
You can't just move your license from one place to another.
And I think I would have to take more education
Right.
to be certified in that
Right.
state.
Right. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Now, do you have to hang your license in the establishment that you're working in?
No, and remember when we had to do that in radio, we would have to hang our FCC licenses.
Yeah, back in the day when you needed an FCC
Yeah.
license.
Isn't that strange? But no, but staff and management has the license, but they're not hanging.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they have your license is they
Yeah.
keep it there. So it's like in a filing cabinet or something like that, wherever they put it.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Unless it's done on computer where
Okay.
they've got everybody's.
Okay. I was
accurate
curious how
information.
that worked, if they have to hang your license on the wall because you do massage there.
Yep, they do stay right on top of it though to make
Okay.
sure you're certified. Even
Mhm.
with insurance, right
Mhm.
away I am sending my proof of insurance to management
Mhm.
because they want you insured as well.
Really?
Really important. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? I'm curious. What kind of insurance do you have to have, like liability insurance?
It's a liability, sure.
So you have to personally, not the establishment, you have to personally carry a liability insurance policy
Yes, in case
to be able to massage.
in case something should go awry, and you want to be insured too.
So in other words, if you're massaging somebody and you injure them, they could possibly sue either you or the establishment, and you have to have an insurance policy.
Yeah.
Really? I did
Yeah.
not know that.
Oh yeah.
I'm dead serious.
Very, very important to have
Wow.
that too. And insurance for it's not really expensive.
What-
I think I pay about $111, $112
For the
a year.
year?
Yeah. And mine's already paid for the year.
What is it? Is it like $1 million policy?
Oh gosh, I never worry about it too much. It's like I should be reading insurance policies. I don't know. I'm not like
Wow.
a big policy reader.
I'm kind of like astounded by that.
Yeah.
I've never really heard of that before.
Yeah.
I'm very taken back by that because in my business, when I go DJ certain places, they require us to have liability insurance and to add them on as what's called additional insured. And then the limits of liability are what's called, we have to have $1 million liability with what's called a $2 million aggregate and another $1 million on top of that.
So how much insurance do you pay a year, or can I ask?
I'll tell you, mine runs anywhere from $250 to $350 a year.
All right, not too bad.
But
I mean,
here's the catch. All right, and it's not really a catch. Not every place requires me to have liability insurance. So in my paperwork, where they require me to carry liability insurance, and if they require that place to be named as additional insured, there is a clause in my contract that states that the purchaser has to pay a fee to me to have the business where their reception is added on as additional insured, because that business is wanting me to do that. Now, it's not my fault that the business is wanting me to do that. I'm sorry, I apologize, but my company charges a fee for that service.
and it's up to the establishment, the venue
Right.
where you are performing at.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Whether they
Which-
want liability insurance from the vendor or not.
Which is understandable,
And
right?
some places don't even care. Well,
Yeah.
not so much as they don't care. They don't require the entertainer to carry liability insurance. So let's just say if the holiday, I'm just using the Holiday Inn as an example. Just
Mhm.
this is strictly an
I miss
example.
the Holiday Inn too out on the island, by the way. Remember the Holiday Inn
I do.
out there?
I do. So let's say the Holiday Inn wants Evan 9 Entertainment to have liability insurance to be able to DJ a wedding there, and they have to be named as additional insured. I call my insurance company up, add them on the policy, put the verbiage in, they charge me a fee, and that fee gets passed on to my client. They have
Okay.
to pay that fee. is what it is.
Yeah, and
So
it
that's
could,
how that works.
So I see how it could vary a little bit from
Yeah.
client to
Yeah,
client.
exactly. Now, some clients,
Yeah.
they don't have to pay anything because all they want to see is what's called the deck page. They don't need to be added on as additional insured. So there's no fee for that because I already have the policy.
Mm-hmm.
So
And you're probably
that's-
aware of all the venues right now. By now,
Trust
you've been
me.
doing it a while.
Oh
so
yeah,
you,
trust me. I knew every single venue, up and down, sideways, all around, here, there, and everywhere. It is 6:22 on the Get Up and Go show on a Tuesday morning. It's time for news. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. With the official start of hurricane season less than 1 month away, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says he's concerned with the high water level at Lake Okeechobee and fears the likelihood of harmful water releases over the summer. WPTV's Derek Lowe has the story.
Lawmakers presented no quick fix for this summer, but say that the Army Corps of Engineers needs to dump water from the lake during the winter months to help keep the levels low during hurricane season. Along the St. Lucie River,
we have lived in this area for almost right at 7 years.
Jensen Beach resident Jeff Fields says it's a privilege to walk along the water, a stroll he couldn't take in 2018 when toxic algae was widespread.
So we get bottlenecked every couple of years, and it's disgusting. It's aggravating.
On Monday, Governor Ron DeSantis flew over Lake Okeechobee, currently sitting 2.5 feet higher compared to this time last year, and now just 3 feet below levels prompting discharges.
We are seeing evidence of blooms in and around the lake, and because of these high levels, we are assuming that the Corps is going to be discharging some of this water with a lot of algae content.
Congressman Brian Mast says toxicity levels are over 100 times higher than what the Environmental Protection Agency recommends anyone come into contact with.
Not only are there short-term impacts from exposure, including respiratory ailments and liver disease, but we're concerned about the neurodegenerative diseases like ALS and Parkinson's.
Eve Samples with Friends of the Everglades says her organization is urging the governor to declare a state of emergency, allowing him to move more water south before hurricane season.
I think that a little bit of hardship on the farmers south of the lake is worth the trade-off if we're allowed to an environmental catastrophe from occurring.
While the governor says he wants the lake better managed year-round, the Army Corps of Engineers says that they have no plans as of now to send any water east to the Treasure Coast. Reporting in Stewart, I'm Derek Lowe, WPTV, News Channel 5.
Democratic candidate for governor Charlie Crist blames incumbent Ron DeSantis for hurting the Florida's cruise ship industry.
Crist is calling Florida's ban on vaccine passports a threat to business, as Norwegian Cruise Lines announced it will leave the state if it can't enact its own coronavirus passport for passengers. Crist says banning the passports hurts travelers' confidence in the safety of the ships. Meanwhile, the Attorney General, with the support of Governor DeSantis, is suing the CDC, saying its restrictions on cruising are what's hurting the industry. I'm Chris Trankman.
A 13-year-old Florida girl who was reported missing near Jacksonville has been found dead, and her classmate has been arrested on a murder charge. The body of Tristan Bailey was discovered Sunday night in a wooded area in St. Johns County. Sheriff Robert Hardwick confirmed Monday morning during a news conference. A 14-year-old boy who attended the same school as Tristan has been arrested on a charge of second-degree murder. Tristan was reported missing Sunday morning. Her family told investigators she had been seen about 1:15 a.m. at a community center. A man who was out for a walk found her body about 6 p.m. and called 911, Hardwick said. Hardwick wouldn't discuss many of the details, including how Tristan died, but did say she was fully clothed when the body was found. This is a long process, he said. We're in the very early stages of this. Ford announced on Monday that it's recalling more than 600,000 Ford Explorer vehicles across the U.S. due to an issue with roof rail covers. The company said the roof rail covers on select 2019 Ford Explorer vehicles could become detached while driving and create a problem for others on the road. 483 vehicles include base and XLT trim levels, as well as Police Interceptor and Explorer Sport models with roof rail covers that are painted black. Recalls have also been issued in Canada. Automaker said they are not aware of any accidents related to this recall. Dealers can secure the roof rails. The reference number for the recall is 21S. Lastly, are the Golden Globes about to Maybe. Yesterday, NBC canceled the Globes literally after a growing list of controversies, including severe lack of diversity, preferential treatment, misuse of funds, and allegations of sexism and abuse. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association, which puts on the Globes, was fire when it was revealed that they had 0 Black members, and things have snowballed since then. NBC's decision means there will not be a Golden Globes broadcast in 2022, but they're leaving the door open for a possible return in 2023. And Tom Cruise has joined the growing protest by returning his 3 Golden Globe Awards. Tim Tebow will sign a 1-year deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars with a chance to make the team as a tight end. Tebow had approached representatives from Jaguars to request a tight end and tryout. He also worked out with the Jaguars tight ends coach Tyler Bowen. Year-old could get another shot in the NFL at a new position, no less. Still comes as a big surprise. Tebow hasn't appeared in a game since 2012. He was unsuccessful in attempting to make the New England Patriots in 2013 and the Philly Eagles in 2015. News time is 6:28. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
Get Up and Go show with Eben and Bonnie. It's the Tuesday edition. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Right here in Martin County and St. Lucie County, it's looking like a good ride this morning. Just northbound on the turnpike up at the Okeechobee exit around the Fort Pierce area, there's some road construction. And northbound there, the entrance ramp is blocked due to that road construction this morning. Use caution. There's your latest look at traffic. Partly cloudy at 73 in Port St. Lucie, and in Parkersburg, Virginia, it's 41. That's Parkersburg, West Virginia. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
Happy Tuesday, sunshines, waking up to temperatures in the mid to upper 70s under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s with heat index values in the mid 90s. We'll see partly sunny skies throughout the day, then a 20% chance for showers and storms. Tomorrow, highs in the low 90s with a 40% chance for scattered showers and storms. Wet weather for Thursday and Friday as a front starts to move into the area, staying steamy through the end of the work week with highs in the upper 80s, slightly cooler, a little less humid by the weekend with highs in the mid 80s. I'm the First Alert meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
6:32 right now on the Get Up and Go show. Let's go to the phones right now. Good morning. You're on the air with Evan and Bonnie. Who's this?
It's Jeff. But I just wanted to ask Bonnie if one of her cats got loose last night.
No,
I heard there was a missing cat in Houston somewhere that was running around the neighborhood and got everybody all in a frenzy.
In Houston, in Texas?
Yeah, in Texas somewhere.
The heck would our cat get in Houston?
No, my cat's too clingy to me. He would not want to go all the way to Houston or run away.
Oh, well, somebody lost their tiger in Houston.
Oh my
gosh. What?
Yeah, they lost a tiger, which I think it was Houston. I don't know. It might not, but somebody lost their tiger. And then when they went to get him, the tiger jumped in the Jeep with the guy and it took off.
Oh, my.
You imagine going down the road, seeing the guy sitting in the front seat of the Jeep with his tiger?
Oh.
I wonder if they rode in the express.
Oh, Lord.
That would be Joe Exotica.
Yeah, exactly.
Put a ball hat on him and sunglasses and face, my funny-looking kid.
Wow. That's pretty good stuff. Bonnie, you may want to check and make sure your
big
cat's at
animals.
home.
But, I used to have a big cat, and when I used to move to all these different countries when I was growing up, if I wanted to talk to girls, I just put Dinky, we called him Dinky, on the leash and took him out walking. But my mom had adopted this little floppy cat with big floppy paws, and when we were in Panama, the country of Panama,
Mm-hmm.
and brought him home, and it was a problem. You could hold it in your hands. It was, it was just a tiny little thing, just kept going, that's all it would say was, Then 87 pounds later, we figured out we didn't have a cat.
So what exactly was it?
An ocelot.
Oh, an ocelot. Is that one of those cats that where they don't have fur?
No, it was a regular. He had a fur and everything, but just had little more pointy ears, and it didn't have a tail.
Oh my!
Oh yeah, I've heard of ocelots before.
Yeah, and it was boy, I tell you what, all I had to do was walk Dinky. We called him Dinky. It's sort of stupid, but
you name a cat Dinky.
And I remember bringing some of my friends home every now and then. I'd say, just don't be scared of the cat, because I've had people come in the house and see the cat stretched out on the couch and they freak out on me.
Well, if you had an ocelot, this little thing does look like a tiger, doesn't it, Evan?
Oh, my.
Looks like you had a flat-out tiger, Jeff.
Wow.
Yeah, well, and...
how did you train that thing?
Excuse me?
How did you train that thing?
I didn't have to train him. It was our pet. I mean, that cat loved my mom. You walked up and slapped my mom on the knee just teasing around, and that cat would look at you and give you one of those.
Yeah, but aren't ocelots like a wild animal?
And they're twice the size of a house cat.
Yeah.
It's looking like.
Yeah.
They're huge, aren't they?
They're not as big as a tiger, but they're twice the size of it. Yeah, you're right. And Mom used to go and buy, when we go to the commissary on the base, Mom would buy every week 2 or 3 cases of cat food.
Oh, geez.
And Eddie would look and say, "Boy, you must have a lot of cats." "Oh, no, we just have one."
What would the cat do if you were out of cat food? Would it eat you?
Probably.
No, Dinky wasn't
Ticked
like
off.
that. Dinky was. If you were to meet Dinky and you weren't freaked out by him, you'd be like, "Oh man, this is the coolest thing! Look at him, he's sitting in my lap."
You mentioned Panama. Did you live there did you live there you were a military child, weren't you?
Yeah, I lived in 16 different countries in 4 different states before I was 16 years old.
What was it like living in Panama? I have a friend that wants to move there and possibly buy a house.
Actually, it was pretty cool. You could set your clock by, it would rain during the rainy season. At 1 o'clock, it poured. I mean, sunshiny day at 1 o'clock, it's going to come down. It would come down like no tomorrow.
I still can't believe you named the cat Dinky.
Dinky.
Yeah, I don't know how that got, but
wow, that's just wrong.
I think it's kind of cute.
I'd think more like Brutus or something.
Oh yeah, a cat like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Dinky lived for 17 years.
Wow.
And then he passed away, and
Yeah. Cats do live that long. My Coco, my baby girl Coco, lived for 17 years as well.
How old's your cats now, Bonnie?
Jack Frosty, I think he's about. See, I got him when he might be about 12 right now, 11
Wow.
or 12.
Senior citizen.
Yeah, he's senior, and
Okay.
then Hans.
They make ARP for cats.
I think Hansi is only like 6 years old.
Oh, he's still watching Romper Room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff. Well, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate you as always.
Have a great day, big guy.
Have a great day. And
You
regards.
too, Bonnie. See you later.
Bye,
All
Jeff.
right. See you later, Dinkster. All right. Very good. That's Jeff, one of our longtime standing friends here on the program. Let's do some viral videos. So this first viral video is at the University of South Carolina, where the president, Bob Cassian, it's gone viral after getting the name of the school wrong during the commencement speech.
He got his own school wrong.
Yeah, he accidentally congratulated the newest alumni from the University of California.
Wait a minute. He's in a different state even?
Yeah.
And he said the University of California?
Yeah.
We got to hear this.
Somebody quickly corrected him, and he promised to do push-ups as payback. And he also further apologized for lifting part of his commencement speech from 2014. He stole it. So here we go. Let's listen.
Now my honor and privilege to officially congratulate you as the newest alumni from the University of California. Congratulations and please be seated. Never mind. Sorry about that. I owe you push-up. Now my honor and privilege
Yeah.
congratulate you as the newest alumni from the University of California. Congratulations and please be seated.
And
Pardon me, but what an idiot.
He's actually at the University of South Carolina.
Yeah.
I wonder what all of those South Carolina folks are thinking has he been drinking?
I don't know, but what an idiot.
Does he sound a little bit funky to
He
you?
sounded a little bit on the sauce.
He does,
You want
doesn't
to play
he?
it again?
Yeah.
All right, here. Hold on. Let it play all the way through again. Listen. There's on the big screen.
Now my honor and privilege to officially congratulate you as the newest alumni from the University of California. Congratulations and please be seated.
Right?
He might not be on the sauce, but that might just be the way he talks. But it might be just a mistake. And what a weird mistake to make.
Yeah, I
though.
mean, come on. You know, you're at the University of South Carolina.
Unless he heads the University of California too, and
he can't be president of both. He's only president of. You can only be president of one.
you can.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Can't do both.
I didn't know because like we have our superintendent here, John
Yeah,
Millay, and who's the
right.
superintendent of many schools. So couldn't he be the president?
No, he's
of,
the superintendent of all the schools in Martin County.
Yeah.
So he can't be a superintendent at another county because
Okay.
he's a superintendent of Martin County.
All right. So this guy can't be the president of South Carolina and the president
California.
of California.
No, that just can't happen.
Rather strange.
Yeah. He just messed up.
I know.
Is what he did.
A little goof.
So, yeah, here's a TikTok user who goes by the name of Corporate Natalie. She imagined herself as a boss, rattling off phrases bosses say when they want you to do work instead of them. Stuff like asking you to own the initiative and empowering you to take the lead. So here, let's
Telling
listen.
you can do it better.
Time for you to own this initiative. I am empowering you to take ownership of this. I'm going to let you run this meeting. I think you deserve to take the lead on that, right?
That's just weird.
Well-
She has too much time in her hands. If you ask me personally, I just think she's got too much damn time on her
Yeah.
hands.
She brings out a good point, though, that, I think the boss will use words like that. Like, I want to empower you to carry out this for me. And and the
Weird.
boss using that wording. Do you have that one of the that gator that came out of that swamp, Evan?
I do, but it's kind of, I have to be very careful playing it because there's
Does he swear? I mean,
yeah.
I don't blame him
yeah,
for,
that's why I
for
didn't
cussing.
we can talk about it a little bit.
It's the second video of a gator coming after a guy fishing
Yeah.
that we've seen in a week now.
Yeah.
There's two different ones.
Yeah, well, this
And-
guy, he kind of He says some very not nice words.
But this is a very fierce gator kind of coming at him.
Yeah.
So if I were him, I would be like out of there.
That's an understatement. I would be like Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
And really, I'd make like a banana and peel.
He sits with his camera up, and so he's fishing, and all of a sudden this gator's coming out of the water, kind of following him down the trail. And this is like a monstrous gator that he has on camera.
Do you know that if a gator chases you,
Yes.
you don't run in a straight line?
I've heard that before.
Because gators can go only in a straight line.
It confuses them.
Well, they can't zigzag.
That,
zigzag,
you know,
they
that-
can only go in a straight line.
That makes sense. That makes
So-
a lot of sense.
Yeah, so note to self, if you're ever being chased by a gator, zigzag.
If I ever should be chased by one, but I hear they're pretty fast though.
Now, they are.
Uh-huh.
They're extremely very, very fast.
We went to Shark's Key a long time ago. And at Shark Key, you ride bicycles out into this national park. And we rode all the way to this tower and back, which is 9 miles both ways. So it was a total of 18 miles that we rode our bikes. But you see all of these gator along the way. And there were like gator like in the middle of the road where you had to swerve your bike over. But they were like lazy gators, like out sunning.
I don't know if I'd call any gator a lazy gator if you ask me personally.
Not if they're hungry,
Why don't
right?
you walk up to a lazy gator and tap it on its head and see what it does? Guarantee that
there
won't
were
happen.
There were some big and fat gators out there, Evan.
There's
I mean,
gators of all sizes and shapes.
Yeah.
Bonnie, did you know that 70% of Americans think grocery shopping will change forever due to COVID-19? That it's going to change forever.
Well, you know, I've talked to friends at work who are now getting into where they've got the Walmart app. You know,
When COVID first started and we
Yeah.
did not want to go anywhere near a store,
I remember you doing that,
right?
and telling me about
we
it.
did everything through the Walmart app, and then we drove up to Walmart, backed our car in a number spot,
Yeah.
opened the trunk, and they put all the groceries in the trunk, and we went home.
And there's no fee for it either, is
No
there?
fee at all whatsoever.
You just have to, you know, be there at that certain set time.
Yes, you set the time and everything.
And I guess it's kind of fun to sit home at night and, you know, get your groceries like that all
You go
online.
grocery shopping right online.
I wonder if I would that might tend to save you money, because if you're doing it online, you're not you know how grocery stores will intentionally put the milk way in the back because most people need milk, right?
Right.
That's like a go-to.
Right.
So as you're walking to find that milk way in back, how many other items are you going to see along the way that you're just going to
Especially
throw in
when
your
the
cart
items say on sale.
and buy one get one?
BOGOs.
Those ones always get me.
BOGOs always get you.
Yeah.
Did you know that 40% of us won't buy a car that doesn't have a cup holder? Think about
Right.
that. Where are you going to put your coffee?
It'd be so inconvenient, you know,
Where
without
are you
one.
going to put your coffee? Can't hold it between your legs, because
Yeah.
if you stop short, it's going to fall forward or it might just spill on you.
You know, I talked to a girl yesterday that said she's going to put a little garbage can in her vehicle. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Because you ever notice how that up in your vehicle? It's
Well, they
kinda like
make these little trash
I gotta
bags.
unload it every day.
They make these little trash bags that have the little go on your radio knob.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or you can attach it somewhere with a little stick-on hook, and then you just throw your little trash right in there.
You know what? The next time I go get my car washed,
Mm-hmm.
right over here, I'm gonna see. I almost bet they would have some of those little bags
Mhm.
that they have everything under the sun in that little store
Now,
that I go
here's
to.
a very interesting stat.
Yeah.
Did you know that women are better than men at hammering a nail because they're much more accurate?
Really?
Yes. So if
Huh.
you were to line up 10 women and 10 men, 10 women and 10 men, 4 out of those, I'm sorry. Where was it at here? Women are better. Okay. So if you were to line up 10 women and 10 men, more of the women than the men
Mhm.
would hit the nail on the head.
They would.
No pun intended
More
there.
men would hit their finger with
Yes.
a hammer.
Yes.
Be hitting their finger instead.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Very interesting stat.
I did not know that.
That kind of goes that way.
But do they make that up? I don't. I'm not really sure if that would be true.
Well, how about then look at this one. 13% of people have left the house wearing different colored socks.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Oh, sure, I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
A pink and a brown?
You know, on those lazy days when I just can't find the right socks, and I'll just, grab any colored ones, whether they're matching or not. Nobody sees them under your pants leg.
Yeah, nobody's going to look at your feet, right?
No,
not at all.
Nobody's looking. And actually, isn't that the thing now where that's coming to be kind of in fa po with fashion?
Yes, for sure. News time, all brought to you by our good friends at St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. We're the best deals in town on precious metals. Our St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Here's Bonnie with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement has finished an investigation into the Jeffrey Epstein case, finding no wrongdoing by either prosecutors or law enforcement. WPTV's Todd Wilson with the insight.
The FDLE has cleared both the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and the Palm Beach State prosecutors of any wrongdoing when it comes to how they prosecuted and jailed the convicted sex offender. FDLE's criminal investigation was ordered by Governor DeSantis back in 2019. It focused on the 2008 plea deal reached, along with Epstein's incarceration and work release program, which was overseen by PBSO. During that time, Epstein was able to leave his jail cell for up to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Current attorney and former FBI agent Stuart Kaplan says what caught his eye was the lack of search warrants, subpoenas, or a grand jury in the investigation. He says it appears FDLE solely depended upon the cooperation and memory of those involved.
I say that the quality of this investigation, meaning the thoroughness of this investigation, is quite incomplete and should not be relied upon as a basis to determine whether or not any criminal violations were in fact committed during the Jeffrey Epstein investigation.
In a statement, PBSO says there is an ongoing internal affairs investigation into any possible administrative violations, the results of which will be released in the near future. PBSO has since discontinued that work release program. Epstein died in 2019 while in custody in New York. His death has since been ruled a suicide. In Palm Beach County, Todd Wilson, WPTV News Channel 5.
The U.S. is seeing a drop in hospitalizations, illnesses, and deaths from COVID-19. That's leading some to believe the country could be turning the corner in the fight against the coronavirus. WPTV's Ryan Hughes has more.
On the playground with her two young kids, Lauren Pavlik is among the 58% of adults in the U.S. who have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine.
I have older family members who I would want to protect, and I just felt like it was the right thing to do.
Experts say once more than 60% of adults nationwide receives at least one dose, we can start to see coronavirus cases and hospitalizations drop significantly.
To reach a point where our society can get back to normal, and the thing that's holding us back is unvaccinated people.
Dr. David Dotson is an infectious disease specialist at Good Samaritan Hospital. He remains optimistic we can still reach herd immunity with 70 to 80% of the population vaccinated, which is key in avoiding another spike in cases.
The less people infected with COVID, the less chance for a variant to develop.
Large second dose this week in hopes we truly are turning the corner.
I think it's giving people hope. I think it's great for our kids. I think it's great for adults just socially. If we can get back to normal, let's do it.
Doctors are still trying to build confidence with the demand for the vaccine softening. The healthcare district of Palm Beach County says its mobile unit will be at the South Florida Fair Monday night, offering both the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines. In Palm Beach County, Ryan Hughes, WPTV. News Channel 5.
In South Florida, the Broward County School Board is expected to vote today on a separation agreement with Superintendent Robert Runcie.
Under the deal, Runcie would be terminated with cause, receive 90 days notice, get 20 weeks severance with sick, vacation, medical, and pension time included, along with a nearly $80,000 lump sum payout.
It also includes
paying the attorney fees through the indictment up front and being reimbursed if Mr. Runcie is not found successful.
Board Chair Dr. Roslyn Osgood says the district would cap legal fees at $25,000. Runcie formally pleaded not guilty and has asked a judge to dismiss the felony perjury charge, accusing him of lying to a grand jury investigating the Parkland massacre. Wendy Grossman, Miami.
Well, lastly, the state announced Monday that launch of Our Florida, an emergency assistance program that will help Floridians who have suffered due to the pandemic's economic impact on working class families. Over $800 million will be dispersed to the state. The money comes from remaining funds after the Department of Treasury issued $1.4 billion to Florida in emergency rental assistance funds, with approximately $529 million distributed directly by local governments with populations over 200,000. The program is now accepting applications for families in need of aid, regardless of their city of residence. Applicants must be low-income renters whose household income is at or below 80% of the area median income. And here's how to apply. If you want to find out more, you want to log on to www.ourflorida.com. The Major League Baseball scores. We have the Cincinnati Reds. They walloped Pittsburgh 14-1. Boston Red Sox lost to the Orioles 4-1. LA Angels over the Houston Astros last night. Miami Marlins lose to the Diamondbacks 5-2, and the Giants beat the Texas Rangers 3-1. News time 6:54. We have weather and traffic together next.
$6:55 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie, what's going on outside?
Well, traffic's looking good. We're not finding any accidents to report right here on US Highway 1. The major highways look clear at the moment. And we do like to say, if you see something, say something, tell us about it at 220-9788, 220-WSTU. It's 75 in Stuart. In Bolzano, Italy, showers and 63. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Happy Tuesday, sunshines, waking up to partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s with heat index values in the mid 90s. We'll see partly sunny skies throughout the day, then a 20% chance for showers and storms. Tomorrow, highs in the low 90s with a 40% chance for scattered showers and storms. Wet weather for Thursday and Friday as a front starts to move into the area, staying steamy through the end of the work week with highs in the upper 80s, slightly cooler, a little less humid by the weekend with highs in the mid 80s.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
6:59 on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie, and we're coming up top of the hour here, just around the corner. News is coming up next, and then hour number 2, followed by hour number 3 right here. Don't go anywhere. WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is up next. We'll be back.
Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world, it's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Thank you very much, Madam Announcer. It is Tuesday, May the 11th, 2021.
I'm George W. Bush, and I approve this message.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. Greatly appreciate it.
It's not nice to fool Mother Nature.
I will never fool Mother Nature, I promise you.
You want to be like me, a love guy, the kind of guy women love to be with on a date.
Well, I don't know if I want to be a love god, but anyway, it's 7:08 this morning. Would you certify, please?
It's now 7:08 a.m.
I can't believe he thought I was a love god, Bonnie.
Oh, he might.
What the heck was that guy thinking?
Well, you could be a love god.
I don't know. I'm not exactly a love god. I'm just me. I don't want to be no love god. That's for sure.
Maybe if Cupid draws his bow back, you can shoot that little bow and arrow at you. And
I don't know.
You'll become the love god.
I don't know. Let's do some birthdays, though. The date is May the 11th, 2021. And what do we got this morning, Bonnie? What do you have for me?
I don't know, but who are these people peering at me on your Facebook page? Who are these lovely people?
Oh, I don't know. that just scared the bejesus out of me.
I thought you knew them.
No, I just was scrolling through my Facebook feed and I stopped and I didn't realize I stopped there and I looked and I'm like, oh, wow, we have people watching.
I know. Nice looking couple
let me
and
look
they're
who they are.
They're
That
peering
is-
intently at us.
That's an old friend of mine, Yvette Valet. She used to come to a roller skating rink that I used to manage like 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know who she's reminding me of somebody famous right there. She's reminding me of Tatum O'Neal.
Oh.
In that picture.
Okay.
She's got like the Tatum hair going on and her
Okay.
eyes.
I'll just leave that there. This way you can feel like they're staring at you. How's that?
Yeah.
All right. Now you're being watched.
Yeah, it makes me a little more nervous now that I'm doing the show, like looking at this kind of audience, like looking at me so intently.
I know, right? So what do you got for me? Any birthdays this morning?
Oh, any birthdays?
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday to my mother in the heavens.
Hey,
May
hey
11th.
now.
May 11th.
Wow, how old would have she been?
It would be Barbara's birthday today, and I believe today she would have been
Aw.
88.
Wow.
My mom would be 88.
And she passed away just a year ago.
Just 1 year ago on February 16 of 2020, right before COVID came, right when we weren't really certain what COVID was all about. And the weird thing about it, Evan, was she was almost going to, the family was almost considering she might have to go to a nursing home.
Right.
And then instead of us, as kids taking her and moving her there, she just opted out. She died in her sleep.
Wow. She just didn't want to go. She knew it was time.
Maybe.
Yes, 88. That's a good age to live to. It really,
Yeah.
truly is. She lived a good life.
Yeah, so she
Really
was
did.
still 86 when she died then.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
guess.
I'm sorry, 86.
That's all right. Yep, she would have been 87
My
that
dad
year.
died at 86 also.
Yeah,
My dad passed away at 86.
it's a good long, I
Yeah.
guess a good long time to live. You really live your life. How many kids did your dad have?
Just he had me, and then he had another son who was my half brother, but I really never knew him.
Yeah.
Wasn't close with him at all. So I think I maybe saw him 3 times in my entire life.
Did you ever think you might want to get in touch with him and get
I
to know
did.
him a little bit?
I did, but it was very weird because when my dad passed away, I got a call from him. He has since passed on, my half brother. But I got a call from him after my dad had passed, and my dad wrote his own obituary. Okay. And I published it exactly the way that my father wanted it published.
That's pretty neat.
Okay. Yeah, he wrote his own obituary. My dad was very he's a military guy, was a colonel in the army. So he had everything outlined for me. He said, listen, when I pass, you go to the tin can and everything is in the tin can, what you'll need
Hmm.
pertaining to all my final arrangements.
There was an actual physical tin can.
There was a
then?
tin can, and it sits under my desk
Oh,
to
wow.
this day. It's under the desk, and it's been under the desk since my dad passed in 07.
That's interesting. So there's
So it's
writing
14
inside
years.
of this.
Inside the tin can are all the final arrangement instructions.
Man.
Who you call, where to call, what to call, when to call for all the different insurances,
Mhm.
funeral arrangements, this, that, and the other. Everything was very meticulously laid out for me.
You're kind of a meticulous guy yourself. That maybe
that's where I get it
kind of
from.
take after your dad.
That's where I get it from. That's being raised in a military household.
Yeah, I would gather.
So yeah, he left all these instructions for everything. Make sure, I want to be buried in my Class A military formals, which he did. He says, please do not have them put my cover on my head. Now, the word cover means hat in military. So he says, please rest it on my chest.
Nice.
So
Nice.
that's what we did.
You did exactly that.
Yeah, I did exactly that. I have in my phone, I have pictures from his service.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how strong your stomach is. I can show them to you on the break if you want to see. But he had the most beautiful service that I've ever seen for a military person. It was
Ooh.
really amazing.
Uh-huh.
The formalities that were done by the United States Army, they sent their funeral team down. I was blown away how everything was
Right.
handled. It
Wow.
was way cool. Never seen anything like that before.
Uh-huh.
He got a 21 gun salute, the whole 9 yards.
Oh boy. I
So
bet
it was like, wow.
Had to be beautiful.
Yeah, it was like, wow.
Very powerful. Did it make you emotional?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a tough day for me.
Yeah.
It's still tough, and even though it's been 17 and 20, it's been 14 years. I can talk about it more easily and not really get teary-eyed that much anymore.
I know. Yeah.
But
yeah.
it just it tore me up big time.
Yeah, you know what really etched in my memory, what tore me up before was watching my dad's reaction at my grandpa, his dad's funeral,
Yeah.
when they had the American casket, and then when they played taps,
Yeah.
my own father began to weep.
Yeah.
He began to cry. So that at that moment, that made
Mm-hmm.
me very emotional.
That's a picture of the sergeant giving my daughter the flag
Oh,
from my
that's
father's
beautiful.
coffin. I could not accept it.
Yeah.
I was a basket case.
Oh.
That's the 21 gun salute.
Oh, what a day.
Yeah,
Yep.
I could not accept it.
Yeah.
I couldn't. It was just too emotional.
I think when ever that taps does start to play at those,
Yeah.
that's when I get emotional the most.
Yeah.
That's when it really sets in. And the final, oh boy, I'll never forget my mom at her mom's
Yeah.
funeral. I was sitting right next to my mom, and then
Yeah.
when they bring that casket out,
Yeah.
and that finality about it,
Yeah.
that's when my mom started.
Are
to
you okay
cry.
with me showing you a picture? Is
What
that
kind of
okay?
picture?
It's my dad laying there with the hat on his
Oh,
chest.
I
Is that
think
okay?
I can handle it.
Okay. So that's my dad, and
Ooh.
you can see the hat
Yes.
right there. Those are some of the many medals that he received in the Army.
That's
and that's
intriguing.
his senior Olympics medals right there.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was beautiful. It really was. It was it's something I'll never forget.
So, like, when you die, do you want to be cremated, or do you?
I don't know.
Do you want people coming there to look at you for one final time? Does that bother you?
I don't know. I'm
You
not
don't know?
honestly. I don't. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I want done.
I want them to play that song by Van Halen at my funeral. It's called "Right Now."
Oh,
Right now,
okay.
this moment is right
Yeah,
here and now.
yeah.
I don't know why. I think I just want them to play that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm undecided. We had an Irish priest. There's the priest right there at the graveside, reading the final
Yeah.
quotations from the Bible and things like that. But
And they don't call it a funeral anymore either. Isn't it more like called a celebration of life?
Well,
a lot of people are calling it that
It
now.
really depends. That's the bugler in the background playing taps right there.
Oh,
and that's
boy.
the military. Some of the military people there.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. That was the folding of the flag right there. So yeah, it's it was cool.
I bet
It
your
was very
dad.
cool.
You're glad your dad laid it down for you, like step by step.
I
It's
think
like
a
a huge occasion.
man, I'd have been a basket case.
Oh, no doubt.
If things were not organized the way they
Yeah.
were organized, yeah, I don't know what I would have done.
Where did our beautiful people go?
Oh,
what
I
what happened to
scrolled-
Tatum O'Neal?
I scrolled around. I got tired of being stared at. Anyway, so you have any birthdays, by the way?
My mom.
Okay, happy
Mommy.
birthday, Mom.
Yep.
All right, very good. Sabrina Carpenter, 22 years old today. That's a Disney star turned singer. Lana Condors, 24 years old. That's Lara Jean Covey in the Netflix trilogy, All the Boys I've Loved Before. Cam Newton is 32 years old today.
Oh,
That's
the quarterback.
Yeah, the former
Yes.
Carolina Panthers quarterback.
And now with New England.
Mhm.
Wonder how they're going to do this year.
Right. Prince Royce is 32. That's the Puerto Rican singer. He's got many hits out. Black China's 33. That's Rob Kardashian's crazy baby mama.
Oh yeah, she used to be with. I don't know if she ever married Rob, but they do have a child together.
Mm-hmm.
They might have been married. How old is she today?
33.
Black China.
I wonder why they call her Black China. BLAC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Why didn't they call her White China?
Well, it's her name.
WHYTE.
I don't
That's
know.
not her real legal name, though. That's
probably,
just a nickname.
Probably not.
Martha Quinn, MTV VJ. Remember her, Bonnie?
I sure do.
Martha Quinn. She's 62.
I remember her with that sleek, nice black hair.
Yep.
And so Snow White kind of skin.
Uh-huh.
62 today.
62 years
Yep.
old today.
I think all of those MTV VJs must be in their early 60s.
They'll be in
right
nursing
now.
homes pretty soon
Like
before you know it.
Alan Hunter.
Oh my
still-
gosh, I remember him.
He still rocks. And I
Right.
like to hear Nina Blackwood.
Yeah.
I like the raspy voice that she has.
Mhm.
And every now and then I catch her on my XM.
Okay. Today is National Eat What You Want Day. It's National Eat What You Want Day. So you know what that means, Bonnie? You just eat whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess so. We
You don't have a
any,
care in the world.
We don't have anything to eat here though this
No.
morning, and I have to
No.
stay here all the way on up till 11 with you.
Oh, don't feel bad. I'm the same way.
but
I'm
you,
the same
you
way.
at least brought something in.
Well, I have to have, if you ever notice,
Yeah.
I have a ritual every morning when you get here. You ever notice that at like 5:50, I eat my yogurt,
I noticed that.
and at 8:30 on certain days, 8:30, I'll eat my breakfast.
8:30 you do. Yep.
8:30. At certain days, I'll eat my breakfast, and other certain days, I'll eat my breakfast at 9:00.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
like a daily ritual that
I
I
kind
do.
of noticed that pattern.
Yeah.
Ooh, that
Yeah,
reminds me.
it's an
I
OCD
have banana yogurt at home in my
Do you?
fridge.
You should have brought it in.
I like banana yogurt.
You should have brought it in.
And I like vanilla yogurt too. Adding berries to it is good.
Vanilla is very good.
Yep.
17 days until Memorial Day. It's a national holiday where we remember those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. 40 days until Father's Day. And you know what's in 54 days?
Day?
No.
54 days would be of the 4th of July, maybe?
Nope. Take another guess.
Oh, boy. Aw, shucks.
Come on. Here's a little hint for you.
Yeah, the 4th of July.
There you go. Atta girl.
Oh, I said the 4th of July. Maybe you didn't hear me.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. I apologize. That's
okay.
my bad. Let me clean the wax out of my ears. I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. I'll have to play the tape back.
That's okay. 54 days till the July 4th.
54 days. And this will be the first 4th of July in 9 years that we do not have fireworks at Clover Park.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
Why not? You had fireworks just the other day, right?
Well, 4th of July we're talking about. We've had fireworks every July 4th for the past 9 years. I've worked there.
Yeah.
So this year we don't have fireworks on July 4th because the team does not play at home that night.
Oh, that's too bad. Yep.
So
And
we had fireworks this past Saturday night.
July 4th will be on a Sunday it looks like this year, right?
Yep. And the games on Sundays are at 12 noon.
Oh, okay.
Can't do fireworks at 12 noon. Just won't happen.
Yeah.
Won't happen. It won't be right to do fireworks in the daytime.
We would only hear the sonic
You'd
boom.
only hear it. Exactly.
Yeah.
7:22 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. Let's head over to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. With the official start of hurricane season less than 1 month away, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says he's concerned with the high water level at Lake Okeechobee and fears the likelihood of harmful water releases over the summer. WPTV's Derek Lowe has the story.
Lawmakers presented no quick fix for this summer, but say that the Army Corps of Engineers needs to dump water from the lake during the winter months to help keep the levels low during hurricane season. Along the St. Lucie River,
We have lived in this area for almost right at 7 years.
Jensen Beach resident Jeff Field says it's a privilege to walk along the water, a stroll he couldn't take in 2018 when toxic algae was widespread.
So we get bottlenecked every couple of years, and it's disgusting. It's aggravating.
On Monday, Governor Ron DeSantis flew over Lake Okeechobee, currently sitting 2.5 feet higher compared to this time last year, and now just 3 feet below levels prompting discharges.
We are seeing evidence of bloom around the lake, and because of these high levels, we are assuming that the Corps is going to be discharging some of this water with a lot of algae content.
Congressman Brian Mast says toxicity levels are over 100 times higher than what the Environmental Protection Agency recommends anyone come into contact with.
Not only are there short-term impacts from exposure and respiratory ailments and liver disease, but we're concerned about the neurodegenerative diseases like ALS and Parkinson's.
Eve Samples with Friends of the Everglades says her organization is urging the governor to declare a state of emergency, allowing him to move more water south before hurricane season.
I think that a little bit of hardship on the farmers south of the lake is worth the trade-off if we're allowed to prevent an environmental catastrophe from occurring.
While the governor says he wants the lake better managed year-round, the Army Corps of Engineers says that they have no plans as of now to send any water east to the Treasure Coast. Reporting in Stewart, I'm Derek Lowe, WPTV, News Channel 5.
Democratic candidate for governor Charlie Crist blames incumbent Ron DeSantis for hurting the Florida's cruise ship industry.
Crist is calling Florida's ban on vaccine passports a threat to business, as Norwegian Cruise Lines announced it will leave the state if it can't enact its own coronavirus passport for passengers. Crist says banning the passports hurts travelers' confidence in the safety of the ships. Meanwhile, the Attorney General, with the support of Governor DeSantis, is suing the CDC, saying cruising are what's hurting the industry. I'm Chris Trankman.
A deadly shooting outside an immigration office in Orlando appears to be a case of domestic violence. Police say a man and woman were walking outside the building yesterday morning when the woman's ex-husband fired shots at them from a passing car. The man was killed, but the woman was not hurt. The suspect was arrested in Kissimmee. A 13-year-old Florida girl who was reported missing near Jacksonville has been found dead, and her classmate has been arrested on a murder charge. The body of Tristan Bailey was discovered Sunday night in a wooded area in St. Johns County. Sheriff Robert Hardwick confirmed Monday morning during a news conference. A 14-year-old boy who attended the same school as Tristan has been arrested on a charge of second-degree murder. Tristan was reported missing Sunday morning. Her family told investigators she had last been seen about 1:15 a.m. at a community center. A man who was out for a walk found her body about 6 p.m. and called 911, Hardwick said. Hardwick wouldn't discuss many of the details, including how Tristan died, but did say she was fully clothed when the body was found. This is a long process, he said. We're in the very early stages of this. Career Source Palm Beach to help veterans get back to work or find a new career. The organization is holding a veterans employment workshop Wednesday from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. The free workshop will offer veterans a wide variety of assistance, including resume building, mock job interviews for benefits. To find out more or to request a seat, call 561-340-1060 extension 2315, or give us a call right here. More than happy to repeat that number for you. We're at 220-9788. Lastly, Oprah Winfrey and Prince Harry are teaming up for a series that will delve into mental health issues and feature segments from athletes and stars like Lady Gaga and Glenn Close. The Me You Can't See will be a multi-part documentary series that will debut on Apple TV on May 21st. Winfrey and the Duke of Sussex will guide honest discussions about mental health and emotional well-being while opening up about their mental health journeys and struggles, according to Monday's announcement. Aaron Rodgers leaving the Green Bay Packers is a real possibility, and as potential trade destinations continue to be rumored, the Denver Broncos have emerged as a true contender to land the reigning NFL MVP. There's reportedly a real possibility Rodgers could end up with the Broncos, according to Broncos currently have the second most cap space available at over $25 million, only behind Jacksonville. And Rodgers would immediately turn Denver into a Super Bowl contender because he's an instant upgrade over Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock, the two quarterbacks on the roster fighting for the starting job. News time is 7:28. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
$7:29 right now in the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, we are seeing an accident now in Martin County. This is on I-95 northbound in Palm City at mile marker 108, I-95 northbound, and there's no roadblock from that accident. Other areas, including in St. Lucie County, it's looking like a pretty good ride this morning. There's your latest look at traffic. It is 75 in Palm City. It's 43 and cloudy in Dawson City, Canada, in the Yukon. And here's our forecast at WPTV.
Happy Tuesday, sunshines, waking up to temperatures in the mid to upper 70s under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s with heat index values in the mid 90s. We'll see partly sunny skies throughout the day, then a 20% chance for showers and storms. Tomorrow, highs in the low 90s with a 40% chance for scattered showers and storms. Wet weather for Thursday and Friday as a front starts to move into the area, staying steamy through the end of the work week with highs in the upper 80s, slightly cooler, a little less humid by the weekend with highs in the mid 80s.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
This is not headline news. NBC has dropped the Golden Globes, which means the number of award shows is now down to a paltry 46,378. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are spending a lot of time together again. Social media says they're okay with anything that results from this, short of Gigli 2. Bill and Melinda Gates have reportedly been working on their divorce since 2019. It's taken so long because the divorce papers were sent using Microsoft Outlook. Scientists say space junk prevents us from seeing stars. Unless that star is Scott Baio, then you're not seeing a star because he's not a star. And today is National Eat What You Want Day. Who waited until today to celebrate, bless your hearts. This is not headline news.
Yeah, from not headline news, we go to the stupid stuff.
And now it's time for Stupid News,
It's so stupid and awesome.
where we ask the important questions.
Are some people too stupid to live?
Why are people so stupid?
Are you effing stupid?
All right, how would you rate that on a scale of 1 to 10?
You sound very much like that kazoo.
Really?
That is a kazoo, right?
Ooh, I just got a head rush from doing that.
Did you really?
Man, I feel like I'm going to fall out of my chair.
See, now you should do that more often.
Ooh, that was brutal. Where's Phil when you need him?
I know, right?
There's a 22-year-old guy named Rudy Batten who busted into a McDonald's in England recently with a fake gun and a knife. And he demanded two things. Bonnie. He demanded all the money in the safe.
And a Big Mac?
No, chicken nuggets.
Oh, why,
The
of course.
employees gave him all $600, and so they, or that's what was in the safe, but they couldn't help him with the McNuggets because it was only breakfast time.
Oh.
And as we all know, McDonald's cannot and will not make lunch food during breakfast hours.
And they probably were out of sauce.
Or vice
too, weren't
versa.
they?
Yeah. Now, even if you've got weapons, they're still not going to make your chicken nuggets.
Right.
So Rudy had to settle for a double sausage McMuffin. The police were able to identify him from the security camera footage, and he was eventually arrested. And earlier this week, he was sentenced to 6 years in jail.
Oh, wow.
With no chicken nuggets.
Man, I'm telling you. And, to do a thing like that and to go into a McDonald's and do it.
Yeah.
I mean.
And he demanded chicken nuggets along with the money.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Anybody knows that when you go to McDonald's to eat, breakfast is served till 10:30, and then they start preparing the lunch menu.
He was having a bad day, just like Michael Douglas and Falling
guess.
Down. Falling Down. Now, there's a movie you should see. There is a scene in that where Michael Douglas is having a very bad day, and he wants breakfast in the restaurant, which is like a fast food.
Right.
And she tells him, serving breakfast, sir.
Oh, wow.
And he gets really pumped and upset about it.
He got ticked
You
off.
got to see the scene.
Okay.
It's large.
Okay.
It's large.
All right. Very good. Authorities at Gettysburg National Military Park in Pennsylvania say that a man was rescued after a tree that fell during high winds trapped him inside a portable toilet.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes.
Oh,
it
my
trapped him
gosh.
inside the crapper,
Oh, good gosh.
right?
Were they able to get him out of there?
The fire department said on its Facebook page that the crew treated it like a car entrapment.
Yeah.
They had to get the jaws of life,
I bet they would.
cut away the tree with a chainsaw,
Oh,
and then cutting the portable toilet open with another saw. The assistant chief said he was very lucky. It was a large tree,
yeah.
and it just missed striking him as he was sitting on the toilet.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
Now,
my
it could have been
gosh.
very serious. The visitor was very alert and talked to EMS as he was placed in the ambulance to be taken to the hospital with injuries not considered life-threatening. Now, can you imagine, Bonnie? You're at an event, you're out and about somewhere, Okay, and you have to use the restroom.
This is like a porta potty.
Okay, and
Yeah.
all that's around is a porta potty.
Oh gosh.
So
yeah.
you go in the porta potty, you close the door, you lock the latch, and you sit down. And all of a sudden, 20 seconds later, bang,
Yeah.
scares the crap out of you. Literally,
Literally.
literally scares the crap out
Right?
of you. And now you're stuck in this porta potty.
I couldn't even imagine. I don't
The
know what I would be thinking.
smell alone had to be ridiculously insane.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Oof.
That reminds me of, my grandma and grandpa had an outhouse. It was like a little white outhouse that sat outside.
They did?
And I had a cat that was it's like Jack Frosty, only his name was Jeremiah.
Okay.
Jeremiah.
Was a bulldog.
And I couldn't find Jeremiah. And, I was looking all over, Jeremiah.
Right.
Like I would call Jeremiah.
Uh-huh.
I went inside the outhouse and I looked down there.
And there was Jeremiah.
Jeremiah was underneath the crapper down in that hole, that looking up at me in that outhouse.
Inside the crapper? Oh my God. Wow.
And I think,
Wow.
don't ask me, he must have just
Ooh.
jumped out of there or something. I did not reach down and grab him.
I would hope not. Oh my.
But I mean, he found a very big litter box that day.
I'm sure he did.
And a perfect one, because an outside litter box at that. No smell in the house.
Wow.
Only in the outhouse.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe the cat was looking up at you from the hole in the in the crapper. Wow. Pretty interesting. The cat really was looking up at you from the hole.
Yeah, this big, beautiful white Turkish Angora kitty, and the Turkish Angoras are so beautiful.
Okay.
Like my Jack Frosty, and
wow.
Yeah, the poor little guy looking up. I could see this little white blob of fur in this big black hole.
Save me, save me,
Yeah.
save me. An elderly married couple broke out of their assisted living facility in Lebanon, Tennessee recently.
Were they quarantined in
No,
there or something?
No, they both have dementia and Alzheimer's.
Oh.
So they were in a locked wing.
Oh.
But it turns out the husband used to be in the military and he was trained in what is called Morse code. That trained him to memorize the patterns of the door locks. So he'd listen to the staff punch in the key codes for the door, and he eventually cracked the code so he could get out.
No kidding.
Yes.
He had like a trained ear for that sort
Now,
of
are
thing.
we really sure that this guy has dementia or Alzheimer's for him to be able to do something like this?
No.
Well,
wow. That
the couple was found about 30 minutes later after they escaped. They were walking down the road a few blocks from the retirement home. The home was fined $2,000 by the state for allowing the couple to escape.
That's interesting. Was that out of the country? You said that wasn't a
No, that was in
different
Tennessee.
In Tennessee.
Lebanon, Tennessee.
Oh, Lebanon, Tennessee. That's
Yeah.
That's an odd story. Yeah.
Yeah. So the guy,
interesting though.
the guy was in the military. So when they would tap the buttons,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
would make different sounds.
Yeah.
And he memorized the tapping of the
Mhm.
different sounds. So obviously, there's a keypad on the inside of the door to let you out.
Mhm.
And there's obviously a keypad on the outside of the door to let you in. And he listened to the way they tapped the buttons, and that's how he memorized
What
it.
if it sounded like the tapping of a home alarm system or some sort of thing?
I don't know.
But
I
don't know how.
But that's pretty interesting.
It sure is.
That's
that
pretty
really,
interesting.
Really is.
I guarantee you that they probably have moved those keypads by now,
Probably.
and
Yeah.
they don't have to worry about that.
I hope they have kids and children that come to visit them. That's kind of like a sad sort of story.
It
you know,
is. It is.
If they both have dementia and
It's sad.
they want to get
But
out
you wonder,
together.
you wonder about if the guy actually had dementia or Alzheimer's, because he was able to be cognizant enough to memorize the keypad strokes.
So it does make you wonder. Yes,
right?
yes, indeed, it
was
does.
he faking? Possibly.
I don't
you
know.
don't. We don't know.
We don't.
We don't know. We'll never know. That's stupid news for a Tuesday morning. From the stupid stuff, we go to the real stuff. It's all brought to you by our good friends at St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. For the best deals on any type of precious metals, please go visit our good friend Hawk Levy at St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Here's Bonnie with the morning headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. The U.S. is seeing a drop in hospitalizations, illnesses, and deaths from COVID-19. That's leading some to believe the country could be turning the corner in the fight against the coronavirus. WPTV's Ryan Hughes has more.
On the playground with her 2 young kids, Lauren Pavlik is among the 58% of adults in the U.S. who have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine.
I have older family members who I would want to protect, and I just felt like it was the right thing to do.
Experts say once more than 60% of adults nationwide receives at least one dose, we can start to see coronavirus cases and hospitalizations drop significantly.
To reach a point where our society can get back to normal, and the thing that's holding us back is unvaccinated people.
Dr. David Dodson is an infectious disease specialist at Good Samaritan Hospital. He remains optimistic we can still reach herd immunity with 70 to 80% of the population vaccinated, which is key in avoiding another spike in cases.
The less people infected with COVID, the less chance for a variant to develop.
Lauren is set to receive her second dose this week and hopes we truly are turning the corner.
I think it's giving people hope. I think it's great for our kids. I think it's great for adults, just socially, if we can get back to normal. Let's do it.
They're still trying to build confidence with the demand for the vaccine softening. The healthcare district of Palm Beach County says its mobile unit will be at the South Florida Fair Monday night, offering both the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines. In Palm Beach County, Ryan Hughes, WPTV, News Channel 5.
The state announced Monday the launch of Our Florida, an emergency assistance program that will help Floridians who have suffered due to the pandemic's economic impact on working class families. Over $800 million will be dispersed to the state. The money comes from remaining funds after the Department of the Treasury issued $1.4 billion to Florida in emergency rental assistance funds, with approximately $29 million distributed directly by local governments with populations over 200,000. The program is now accepting applications for families in need of aid, regardless of their city of residence. Applicants must be low-income renters whose household income is at or below 80% of the area median income, renters with income at or below 50%, and families who have experienced unemployment within the past 90 days will be given priority. Now, to find out more and to learn about required documentation and how to apply, you can log on to ourflorida.com. In South Florida, the Broward County School Board is expected to vote today on a separation agreement with Superintendent Robert Runcie.
Under the deal, with cause, receive 90 days notice, get 20-week severance with sick, vacation, medical, and pension time included, along with a nearly $80,000 lump sum payout.
It also includes paying the attorney fees through the indictment up front and being reimbursed if Mr. Runcie is not found successful.
Board Chair Dr. Roslyn Osgood says the district would cap legal fees at $25,000. Runcie formally pleaded not guilty and has asked a judge to dismiss the felony perjury charge, accusing him of lying to a grand jury investigating the Parkland massacre. Wendy Grossman, Miami.
A longtime figure at Kennedy Space Center is moving to a new position in Washington. NASA announced yesterday that KSC Director Bob Cabana is being promoted to its number 3 position. Lastly, CareerSource Palm Beach County is on a mission to help veterans get back to work or find a new career. The organization is building a veterans employment workshop tomorrow from 8:30 to 10:30 in the morning. The free workshop will offer veterans a wide variety of assistance, including resume building, mock job interviews, and help in signing up for benefits. To find out more or request a seat, you can call 561-340 1060 extension 2315. If you would like that number repeated, call us here at the morning show. We're at 220-9788, 220 WSTU. Tim Tebow is on track for a return to football.
NFL Network reports the Jacksonville Jaguars are planning to sign the former Heisman Trophy winning quarterback as a tight end. The move would reunite Tebow with head coach Urban Meyer after their days at Florida. The 33-year-old last played in an NFL game with the New York Jets in 2012 before a brief stint in minor league baseball. It's expected to be a one-year deal. I'm Rick Hoschel.
Our news time 7:48, and we'll have weather and traffic together next.
$7:50 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Bonnie, what's going on outside?
We do see one accident. It's on I-95 northbound in Palm City at mile marker 108, and traffic's getting through right there. There's not any roadblock from the accident. Other areas are looking good, and there's your latest look at traffic. It's 73 in Stewart. Toole, Utah this morning, a clear sky and 37. Here's our weather at WPTV.
Happy Tuesday, sunshines, waking up to temperatures in the mid to upper 70s under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s with heat index values in the mid 90s. We'll see partly sunny skies throughout the day, then a 20% chance for showers and storms. Tomorrow, highs in the low 90s with a 40% chance for scattered showers and storms. Wet weather for Thursday and Friday as a front starts to move into the area. Staying steamy through the end of the work week with highs in the upper 80s. Slightly cooler, a little less humid by the weekend with highs in the mid 80s.
I'm WPTV First Alert Meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
7:54 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. And coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, it's going to be John Budensiek. Major John Budensiek is going to be here from the Martin County Sheriff's Office. The sheriff is busy. He's been really busy lately, and Major John Budensiek has been doing a lot of filling in for him and doing a fantastic job. And we're going to be talking with the major coming up in just a little bit. We're going to be talking about, let me see, the teenage driving. We're going to talk about teenage driving and what parents and teens need to know when getting their driver's licenses for the teenagers.
Oh yeah, and there's like, it's like the teenagers, they have the driving skills, but there are things that maybe they don't know, and they're more apt and likely to make mistakes out on the road.
Agreed.
That's why even with our young Missy Topanga, who is going to be, oh good gosh, I should know how old she is. She is either 16
15? Is she going to be 15 or 16?
She's going to be.
That's her learner's permit.
Learner's permit, and we've been doing just like a lot of riding along with her, and so she can hone in on those driving skills while we're present. Yeah.
How's she doing with her drive?
Well, she's she's a straight A student. We're very proud of her.
When she comes down here, does she drive Gary's car or your car?
She'll drive mine once in a while. She has driven Gary's.
Okay.
She'll
you
drive
sit in the front seat, obviously.
Yeah, and she'll drive me to the store or something.
Okay. Does she do 10 and 2 when she's driving?
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure she does.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And she we went to Walgreens too the other day, and then I don't know, to get back though, I had to make some kind of a U-turn, and Prima Vista Boulevard was getting rather busy for a Sunday morning. Usually I don't see it that busy on a Sunday. So then it was kind of like busy looking. So then I got in the seat, but she did drive from my house to the store,
Okay.
And
How does she do? Does she get nervous at all?
She doesn't seem to be nervous, but just like really attentive on her driving, like she should be.
Okay.
And, that's what we're hoping. Like if, how teens can get in the vehicle with other teens when you're not there, and the focus, I kind of want to give her the incentive that even if you have your peers in the car, the focus should not be on the radio, on who said this, who said what. It should be on your driving and the road up ahead.
Yeah, Gavin learned that at a very young age. A month, in fact, it was on May 31st. He got his license April 20th. And on May 31st, he ran into the back of somebody.
Okay.
That's because he had a friend in the car, wasn't paying attention, radio was turned up loud, and it's a lesson to be learned. And we had to pay out, and the insurance went sky high because of that, and it's going to stay sky high for another year. But he pays the insurance. He, honed up to it, and, you live from your mistakes, and he's matured since then. And now he realizes, having a car is that's basically, it's a missile. It's a weapon. You can kill somebody with a car.
It's a large, heavy unit, right, Evan?
Yeah.
It's just,
It's a missile. It's a missile on wheels. Taken care of properly, you could do damage.
Oh,
and thank God he didn't really hurt anybody when he ran into the back of the other person's vehicle.
Yeah, and there's no laughing at that, because kids are kids, and it's sometimes like an accident is bound to happen just because they haven't driven as long as we've been driving, either.
They think they know it all, but they don't. They don't know it all, because we have many, many years of driving on the road and driving experience, opposed to the newer drivers that are just, it's like, don't worry, Dad, I'm okay. I know what I'm doing.
And we didn't grow up with that darn texting and driving either. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is, anybody driving should not have a phone in their hand, even. I mean, it's just absurd to me.
It is what it is. Unfortunately, it's the day and age of what we live in. Technology is what we live in these days. And unfortunately, we just have to be careful. That's really all basically it. But Major John Budenseek going to be here from the Martin County Sheriff's Office. We're going to have a great discussion about teen drivers and texting and driving and this, that, and the other stuff. He'll be up next right here at WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Coming to you live from Stuart, Florida, the greatest little town in the world. It's the award-winning, critically acclaimed Get Up and Go show on AM 1450 WSTU. You're invited to call the show anytime at 772-220-9788. And now, broadcasting live from their palatial studios, here are your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Announcer. It is Tuesday, May the 11th, 2021.
You're the most famous person in the world.
I know I'm famous, that's for sure.
I'll smack you.
No, you're not going to smack me, okay?
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it?
Yeah, we have a productive segment coming up here in just a moment. But first, we have to certify our time like we always do. It is 8:07. Mr. Clock, would you please certify that?
It's now 8:07 a.m.
Oh, there's that music, Bonnie. You know what that means, don't you?
Yes.
That's right.
It's time to get serious, folks.
It's time to get serious, folks. They call him the man with a plan that only can step in for when the sheriff is not here. It's Major John Budenseek. Good morning, John.
Good morning, all. How are you this morning?
We are fantastic. We are 10-8, as we like to say.
You sound very 10-8. Very alive and 10-8. Sounds good.
Always got to be 10-8, because if I'm not 10-8, my daughter is going to call me, and she will make me 10-8.
Good.
That's all I got to say. I got to have somebody to keep me in line.
Absolutely.
How are you and the family doing, first and foremost?
Very good. We're 2 weeks out from the end of school, so we're kind of coming in for landing there. So the kids are cramming, trying to get all their last-minute stuff done, and then looking forward to summer.
I want to touch on a topic that a lot of people are having dilemmas with as parents. I know I did, and it's teenage driving and what parents and teens really need to know when getting their driver's licenses. Now, I went through that whole thing with Gavin and my other kids. I don't remember what I went through with the other ones because it's so darn long ago. But I remember like it was yesterday what I went through with Gavin. Now, we purchased a vehicle for him before he actually turned 15, just because I found a great deal on, I guess we call them beaters, so to speak. It was an 06 Hyundai Sonata with not that much miles on it and was owned by an elderly couple, because I didn't want Gavin learning on my brand new Ford Explorer how to drive.
Yes,
I'd have to be insane, wouldn't I?
Sounds like you had him train on a really nice car, a nice clean car.
Well, it was owned by an
elderly couple.
Elderly couple, not many miles on it. So, I bought it about 6 months before he turned, and it sat in the driveway until he turned 15. He got his learner's permit. Sure. So, put him behind the wheel, and we just kind of drove up and down the street, so to speak, in a straight line. That's the way we started, and then we went around the block, and then eventually I figured the best place for him to learn was in the parking lot at Christ Fellowship because the song Jesus Take the Wheel. Well, I figured we're going to have the Lord on his side, and that's where he's going to learn.
Nice big parking lot over there to learn in too.
Yeah, it was huge.
Well, I'm right there with you, Evan. I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. My 16-year-old is not in a firestorm hurry to get her driver's license.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I've been down at Jimmy Graham Park hoping that she doesn't put the car in the water down there. We've been practicing ourselves.
How are your nerves when you're behind, you're not behind the wheel, but how are your nerves when you're in the passenger seat and you're teaching your teenager to drive for the first time? Do you find yourself trying to press this imaginary brake on the passenger side?
Oh, absolutely. And cars are not what they used to be when we were younger. They had those full front seats where you could just slide over and take over.
Right.
Full console between you and all the things you need to get a hold of if something bad happens on the other side, the brake pedal, the gas pedal. So there's no easy save if things start to go south. A lot of time talking through the whole driving process.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is take your feet off first. Don't try to jam a pedal.
Yeah.
Kids are going to get the wrong one.
Yeah, and plus you also, as a dad or a mom, if you're teaching your child how to drive, most of the cars nowadays, the emergency brake is right there at the center console.
Yep.
People refer to that as the oh crap lever, so to speak. So that's right there also as well. But on a serious note, let's have a conversation about what parents and teens need to know when getting their driver's licenses. If you could collaborate on that for us.
Absolutely. Well, let's start off with the most simple thing. We're parents.
Right.
And so what our children are up for or not. So just because your child turns 15 doesn't mean they're ready for a permit. Just because they turn 16 doesn't mean they're ready for a driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
That's a decision that we as parents have to make sure our children are mature enough. And I have 4 children, so they're all in different stages of development in their life when they hit those years. So keeping that in mind, I think the most important thing to realize is that driving is not a right. There's a lot of rights that we have, and that's my job to defend those rights. But driving is not a right.
It's a privilege. Yeah.
It's especially a privilege for a juvenile. Most parents don't know this, but parents hold all the control as to whether or not their children get a driver's license in the first place or retain that driver's license. So what I mean by that is if your child if you caught them out drinking alcohol and driving or just doing something that, they're just crossing the lines that you as a parent have put in place, you can go down to the DMV and revoke your permission for them to have a driver's license, essentially putting them out of driving a car.
People are not aware that you can do that. I know that for a fact, but a lot of people have no idea that you can revoke your child's driving privilege.
And that's a great tool. I mean, I don't know which one is more emotionally traumatizing to the child now, taking their phone or taking the driving privileges, but that's a big tool for a parent to, and those are the stages of life where children are flexing their little muscles and trying to do their own thing. But it's a great way to protect them and kind of keep them on track. You kind of hold that over their head. I hate to say it like that, but you can kind of hold it over their head and keep them in line. So I think that's important to know, though, as a parent. Just because your child has a driver's license doesn't mean that they're off to the races. And they're not off to the races until they're 18 or adult. Until then, you're in control. And then, the driving parameters for a juvenile are a lot more stringent than they are for an adult. And that's to keep them safe because we know that their brain hasn't developed completely as it should be. So, for example, for an adult to get a DUI, their blood alcohol content has to be 0.08. For a juvenile, anyone under the age of 21, their BAC has to be in 0.02. So, I mean, that's like no alcohol, none at all.
Right.
So if they get pulled over and they're at an 0.02, the threshold of their license getting suspended for DUI or license getting blow or give any kind of a sample, the threshold is an 0.02.
Wow.
There's also some stipulations in there for tobacco, and those get a little cumbersome because, quite honestly, they're not that easy to enforce. But there are some caveats in there for tobacco usage. And then also, different again from adults, if you get 12 points within your first, in that period of time between your 16 and 18, your driver's license is suspended and you go to what they call work permit only. So you could go to school, you could go to work, you could go to church, anything other than that, you're grounded as far as driving goes.
Wow.
So the state, then I think they've been thoughtful and put a lot of boundaries in place in order to protect our children because we know that children are risk takers. Again, their brains aren't quite developed like hopefully ours are.
Yeah.
So
we learned the hard way in our family because about a month or so after Gavin got his license, He ran right in the back of somebody going on his way to school. Had a friend in the car, had the radio cranked up, and we get the phone call, and my wife wakes me up out of bed. Gavin's been in an accident. I get to the scene, and lo and behold, I get out of the car like gangbusters. He walks up to me. I gave him talk to the hand. I didn't even want to hear nothing. And I just looked, and that was it. Lesson learned. Here we are 2 years later, literally almost to the year, 2 years later. And car insurance is still sky high because of that. We got another year to go, but
you're just thankful that nobody was
Well, of
injured
course.
either. And
First thing, my first reaction was when we got the phone call, I said to my wife, is he okay? Yes, he's fine. He's shaken up because he hit somebody. So at that point, I knew he was okay. So when I got down there, I couldn't let soft side out of me. Like, oh my gosh, I feel sorry for you. He was safe. Nobody got injured. So he needed to know where I was coming from. But that's me.
And you touched on something that I'm not picking on. Sounds like he learned his lesson, but this is an issue holistically, not just for juvenile drivers.
Yeah.
But distracted driving, in my opinion, is a new DUI. You see somebody texting and driving, they're as dangerous sometimes as somebody that's under the influence of alcohol.
Oh,
or
yeah.
drugs.
Oh, yeah.
So, and kids especially, they can't wait. And I've been guilty of it myself, so I'm not just indicting our kids, but you can't wait to respond to that text. You can't wait to answer that phone call. You can't wait to post something on Instagram or Facebook or whatever you're into.
Yeah.
I do recall coming to an intersection in Port St. Lucie one time, and we were all at the stoplight, and I looked over, and there was a car full of kids. I think there were 2 in the front, 2 in the back. All 4 had their heads down, looking at their phones.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not just, you're supposed to drive offensively, but defense plays a large role in being successful driving.
Oh, yeah.
When your head is down at an intersection, you can't see if something's going wrong somewhere around you. So it's not just when your car's in movement. It's holistically.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to pay attention. Definitely have to pay attention. John, when somebody gets pulled over, what are some of the basic things that that people should do when they're being pulled over by a law enforcement officer? I know what I do because I've learned from my daughter, but I would like you, our listening audience, to hear it from you, what they need to do if they're pulled over.
Well, getting pulled over is not that complicated. Somewhere in the last few years, it's turned into a big deal, but it's really not that complicated. So you need to be looking for a safe place to pull over. Of course, the law enforcement officer behind you already decided where a good place for you to pull over is. So if they turn their lights on, you need to yield to them and pull off to the side of the road where they are trying to get you to pull over. So keep that in mind. When you go to, I wanted to drive a mile down the road to McDonald's because I thought it was safe. Yeah, that kind of works, but then you start getting yourself in a predicament where us as law enforcement, we don't know whether you're slow rolling because you're fixing to bail out of the car or because you just committed a crime and you're buying time to think about what your next move is.
Right.
So the best thing to do is to yield as soon as you can and pull over. And then from there, keep your hands where they can be seen. It's a simple process, unfortunately. The time to debate is not generally at the side of the road. I mean, you can have dialogue. Of course, you have your own opinion. And sometimes there are instances where you can explain your way. And sometimes the law enforcement officer will ask you that. But sometimes the time to debate is later when you go to court.
Right.
But they're going to ask you normally for your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance. You should already know where your registration and proof of insurance is. Normally it's in the glove box.
Right.
When they ask you for that, I like it when somebody says, "Hey, sir, it's in the glove box. You mind if I open it?" And of course, the answer is no problem, please. They do that, hand it. The officer's going to run your name. He's going to make sure your registration matches your license tag. And then from there, they'll make the decision as to whether or not to write you a ticket or not. A lot of times it's just many times, law enforcement, especially here in Martin County, they're just pulling you over for educational purposes. You're not getting a ticket. So, coming off like, what did I do or I didn't do it? Sometimes I hate to say it this way, but people tend to talk themselves into tickets rather than talking themselves
I
out.
agree. I agree with you. And another thing too, John, when you tell that officer, my documents are in my glove box, and you ask, is it okay if you get them? Don't make sudden movements. Don't jolt for that glove box, because that's going to set off a trigger to the law enforcement officer. Why is he moving so fast?
And that's hard to teach because, you got to keep in mind, even I'm nervous, even now, if in theory I ever got pulled over for speeding, not that I'm confessing to it, but if in theory I ever get pulled over, I'm nervous now as an adult being a law enforcement officer. So people are going to react differently when they're nervous. They're going to move fast. They're going to move slow. They're going to be stuck in time. It's hard to teach, but our deputies, they pull people over every day. Hundreds of people get pulled over a week. People move fast, they move slow. They're really not that jumpy. What makes a law enforcement officer jumpy is when you slow roll to a stop, you don't put your hands where they can see it, you're making evasive movements in the car. But if you're just doing the standard, retrieving your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance, you're fine.
Yeah. Another thing, John, that I was told, and I've heard this from several people, if you are a concealed carry, and you have a concealed carry permit, should you also, and you are carrying, whether it's in your bag or in your glove box or on your person, should you hand the officer, in addition to your license, your concealed carry permit as well at the same time, and notify the officer that you do have a weapon with you?
You don't have to do that, but it's obviously appreciated when it is done.
Right.
And where it really gets sticky is when your firearm is in the same place that you're fixing to retrieve your important documents that law enforcement asked for.
Right.
So especially in that case, you're going to want to tell the officer before you do anything, hey, I just want you to know, here's my concealed weapons permit. My gun is right where you're asking me to get my registration proof of insurance from. And of course that eliminates a lot of hassle right there.
Right.
You don't want to surprise a law enforcement officer by popping your glove box and reaching in there innocently to get your documents, and then it changes things quickly.
Would it be advisable to even ask the law enforcement officer to reach in himself and get the documents, and you tell them exactly where they are? Is that a better thing to do?
Every law enforcement officer kind of does that different. Law enforcement as a whole is getting away from reaching in the occupied vehicles.
Right.
Driver's still in the driver's seat. So they probably are not going to do that. Look, if they know where the gun is, don't kid yourself. A law enforcement officer that's standing at your window, they can get to their gun a whole lot quicker than you're going to pull a gun out of that glove box and do anything to them. And we know that. So they're pretty safe, especially if you're being honest and telling them that it's there. My read on people is if they're going to tell me where the gun is and that they have a gun, they're probably not going to use that gun to hurt me.
Yeah, I would agree. Bonnie, you have any questions for John in regards to the topic we're talking about?
No, I'm just taking this all
pertaining
in.
to Topanga with being a young teenage driver.
We just know that she has to keep up her grades at straight A's, and I think if that grade drops to like a B, that's going to be the factor of the car keys are going to be taken away.
And that's another good thing that you can hold over the child's head too, because John, isn't it true if your grades are not, if you're failing school, can't they notify the DMV or something of that sort? Is there something that happens pertaining to that?
That's a truancy issue. If you're not going to school, then the parent can get with the school, who can reach out to the DMV and say, hey, we need to take some remedial action with their driver's license. Now, Bonnie, that's rough. If they drop below A's, then you're going to suspend their driver's license. I don't know if I'd ever gotten the drive back when I was.
Well, I don't know if
Standards are high.
Wow.
if the driver's license is going to be dropped, but the car keys will be taken away. There's going to be a car coming up for her involved. Let's put it that way. So with the parents, with the car payments and in the insurance, and if the parents are doing all that, all she has to do really is keep up her grades, and she'll be fine with all of the grown-ups, I guess.
Well, that's a pretty high threshold. My children make good grades, but high school for me was a whirlwind. I think they had to kick me out of there to get me out of there. So.
But you brought up a good point. Like maybe like it should be looked into if the student is truant, because actually after all, that car is supposed to be driven to school, right?
And not
where else?
Not used for going to the beach and skipping school.
Right.
Exactly.
That's a process that's not that commonly used. I mean, it's not just a one day they skip school. You can go back to your parental right to either revoke their driver's license or take their driving privileges away without revoking their license.
Mm-hmm.
But truancy has to be a consistent pattern. The school has to be on board. And quite frankly, that's not used very often to take some child's license back from them.
Wow. Great conversation this morning with Major John Budensiek from the Martin County Sheriff's Office. John, I really enjoyed this conversation this morning, more so than a lot. Not that I didn't enjoy the other ones we've always had, but this one was really, really good. And I think we really educated the moms and the dads out there listening this morning, John.
I sure hope so. I mean, you and I are living it right now, so we're educated the hard way.
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so. Hey, please give our best to the sheriff and the entire sheriff's office family down there, and we will speak to you in the very, very near future.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, you take care. That's Major John Budensiek with the Martin County Sheriff's Office. He appears on this program each and every week. Port St. Lucie and West Palm Beach. It's time to dress up to host the most important event in world baseball. It's the America's Qualifier for the Tokyo 2021 Olympic Games, happening May 31st to June the 5th at Clover Park and 15 Ballpark. Both ballparks are going to host the best 8 teams in the Americas from the U.S., Cuba, Venezuela, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Canada, Colombia, and Nicaragua. 2 daily games at 1 in the afternoon and 7 at night. The eliminations May 31st to June the 2nd. Finals are June 4th and 5th. America's baseball qualifiers road to Tokyo, looking for their pass to the Olympic Games. Do not miss the opportunity to enjoy this magnificent event that will have all the safety and hygiene standards for your protection and that of your family. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to tickets.com without a doubt. It's time for the Gold and Silver Report, all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold opening up at $1,839 an ounce and silver opening up $27.41 an ounce. That's the Gold and Silver Report, all brought to you by our good friends at St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
8:33 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie, and it's time for our daily dose of space in another place with the one and only Randy Siegel. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning to you, sir. Well, the 7 residents on board the International Space Station took the day off yesterday. Yep. It looks like a relaxing month, followed by a very busy April with no spacecraft activity until June. Wow. However, the astronauts did spend a lot of time taking care of personal activities, talking to family, watching movies, and playing games. The crewmates continue their daily workout every day for 2 hours so their bones and muscles don't atrophy. They have a U.S. and a Russian treadmill on board, which are always used, as well as the advanced resistance device to keep their muscles and bones healthy from the weightless environment. The next cargo mission planned to replenish the crews on board are scheduled for June the 3rd, with a docking on June the 4th. In this case, the Cargo Dragon will deliver new solar arrays to augment the space station's power supply. Well, big doings at NASA headquarters. Yep. Stephen Jaworczyk, who served as acting administrator from January 20th until May the 3rd, announced on Monday he'll retire this coming Friday after spending 3 decades with NASA. Jaworczyk has served as associate administrator, the nation's highest-ranking civilian since May of 2018. He overlooked the successful missions Perseverance, the successful Green Run test of the core stage for the Space Launch System, the naming of the Mary W. Jackson NASA headquarters building, the launch of NASA's SpaceX Crew 2 mission to the space station, and the return of Crew 1. So NASA is losing a big guy there. And the Kennedy Space Center is losing its director. Yep, Bill Nelson announced yesterday that Bob Cabana, an ex-astronaut who has served as NASA's director of the Kennedy Space Center since 2008, will serve as associate administrator, effective on Monday the 17th. The interesting part is that at Kennedy, Cabana managed all NASA programs and activities at the spaceport, including the team of civil service and contract employees, as well as very critical programs, including the commercial crew. Janet Petro, who served as deputy director of Kennedy since 2007, will serve as the acting director of the Kennedy Space Center till a new one is named. Cabana will join senior NASA headquarters that includes Pam Melroy, the nominee for deputy administrator, Margaret Van Such, the nominee for chief financial officer, Susie Perez Quinn, chief of staff, Bela Lai, senior advisor to budget and finance, Mark Etkin, associate administrator for communications, Alice Brown, associate administrator for legislative and intergovernmental affairs. So a lot has been going on. And yesterday, just as advertised, the OSIRIS-REx mission is headed home, yet having scooped up a piece of Bennu, that's the asteroid that's out in deep space, it fired its rocket engines and started heading home. There was a 16-minute thruster firing as it comes back to Earth. That landing on Earth with their samples will be at the Utah Test and Training Range on September 24th, 2023. The 5th flight on Mars took place yesterday. It was the 5th time that the helicopter Ingenuity flew on the red planet. It continues to show that NASA can operate a vehicle on a foreign planet remote control. Whatever they do, a while for the information to get back to Earth because Mars is so far away. We also know that the Perseverance rover continues to do good work and giving weather measurements on the red planet. Not to mention, we also have the InSight spacecraft, which is on Mars and is burrowing down to hear what's going on in the inner bowels of the planet. And then China is getting ready with their rover, which will also be at the red planet. So a lot going on there. SpaceX in 2022 will send a satellite to the moon paid for with Dogecoin cryptocurrency. Yep, next year SpaceX will launch the Doggy 1 satellite to the moon paid for in crypto doggies. The Ukraine intends to create its own cosmodrome and launch 7 satellites in 5 years. Ukrainian Space Agency head Vladimir Toftek has said that the Ukraine has set out a bunch of goals. They want to join the European Space Agency. They want to create a Ukrainian cosmodrome for launching their own satellites. Satellite constellation of 7 Ukrainian satellites. They want to put those in orbit. So more countries getting involved. NASA has raised the price of private astronauts going to the International Space Station. According to initial pricing policy, in June of 2019, part of NASA's strategy to commercialize low Earth orbit, the agency charged $11,250 per person per day for life support systems and toilet facilities. Got to have those toilet facilities, and $22,500 per person per day for other services, including menial. Under the new program, NASA will charge $5.2 million per person for mission support and $4.8 million per person for basic services on board the station. Tomorrow we're going to tell you about Virgin Orbit naming a new space center and Jeff Bezos readying to have his crew go back to space. So until tomorrow, have a great day, everybody.
That's Randy Siegel, ladies and gentlemen. He has a space report. He's on the program each and every weekday at this time. Time to head on over to Ellie's Downtown Deli. It's literally out the front door. Make a left, a right, another right, up the street, another left, and it's on the right-hand side. If you follow those directions good, it's literally that close.
Evan, just say on Colorado Avenue.
There
and
you
6th
go.
Street. That's going to narrow it down for plenty of our area listeners. But, it's where everything is fresh, too. Chef Mark has the freshest ingredients, like your Italian chef salad, including with mixed greens topped with ham, salami, capicola, fresh mozzarella. He places on this, too. Pickled gardenia vegetables goes good on it with red onion, tomatoes, served with your choice of dressing. Fresh jumbo wraps, Chef Mark is serving. Soups, like, for instance, last week he had this great tasting roasted red pepper basil soup. He had steak and potato. He's serving 2 new fresh soups today, and you want to call and see the soup of the day that he has on the menu. It's simply delicious. And Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart now has their patio back open, plus they're at 50% dining inside with a full menu for pickup or delivery. Ellie's also has full dinners available per takeout, plus their fabulous desserts as well. 727816605 to order and pick up today. Located at 18 Southeast 6th Street, just off Colorado and Stuart. Call 772-781-6605. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart.
8:42 right time. News time once again, all brought to you by our good friends at St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin for the best deals in town on any type of precious metals. it's always St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Go see Hawk Levy. Here's Bonnie with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning to you, Evan. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement has finished an investigation into the Jeffrey Epstein case, finding no wrongdoing by either prosecutors or law enforcement. WPTV's Todd Wilson with the insight.
The FDLE has cleared both the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and the Palm Beach State prosecutors of wrongdoing when it comes to how they prosecuted and jailed the convicted sex offender. FDLE's criminal investigation was ordered by Governor DeSantis back in 2019. It focused on the 2008 plea deal reached, along with Epstein's incarceration and work release program, which was overseen by PBS. During that time, Epstein was able to leave his jail cell for up to 12 hours, 6 days a week. Current attorney and former FBI agent Stuart Kaplan says what caught his eye was the lack of search warrants, subpoenas, or a grand jury in the investigation. He says it appears FDLE solely depended upon the cooperation and memory of those involved.
I say that the quality of this investigation, meaning the thoroughness of this investigation, is quite incomplete and should not be relied upon as a basis to determine whether or not any criminal violations were in fact committed during the Jeffrey Epstein investigation.
In a statement, PBSO says there is an ongoing internal affairs investigation into any possible administrative violations, the results of which will be released in the near future. PBSO has since discontinued that work release program. Epstein died in 2019 while in custody in New York. His death has since been ruled a suicide. In Palm Beach County, Todd Wilson, WPTV News Channel 5.
A 13-year-old Florida girl who was reported missing near Jacksonville has been found dead, and her classmate has been arrested on a murder charge. The body of Tristan Bailey was discovered Sunday night in a wooded area in St. Johns County. Sheriff Robert Hardwick confirmed this Monday morning during a news conference. A 14-year-old boy who attended the same school as Tristan has been arrested on a charge of second-degree murder. Tristan was reported missing Sunday morning. Her family told investigators she had last been seen around 1:15 a.m. at a community center. A man who was out for a walk found her body about 6 p.m. and called 911, Hardwick said. Hardwick wouldn't discuss many of the details, including how Tristan died, but did say she was fully clothed when the body was found. This is a long process, he said. We're in the very early stages of this. A deadly shooting outside an immigration office in Orlando appears to be a case of domestic violence. Police say a man and a woman were walking outside the building yesterday morning when the woman's ex-husband fired shots at them from a passing car. The man was killed, but the woman was not hurt. The suspect was arrested in Kissimmee. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement has finished an investigation. Actually, we already did that story. We move on to this story. A drop in hospitalizations, illnesses, and deaths from COVID-19. That's leading some to believe the country could be turning the corner in the fight against coronavirus. And WPTV's Ryan Hughes has more.
On the playground with her two young kids, Lauren Pavlik is among the 58% of adults in the U.S. who have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine.
I have older family members who I would want to protect, and I just felt like it was the right thing to do.
Experts say once more than 60% of adults nationwide receives at least one dose, we can start to see coronavirus cases and hospitalizations drop significantly.
To reach a point where our society can get back to normal, and the thing that's holding us back is unvaccinated people.
Dr. David Dotson is an infectious disease specialist at Good Samaritan Hospital. He's optimistic we can still reach herd immunity with 70 to 80% of the population vaccinated, which is key in avoiding another spike in cases.
The less people infected with COVID, the less chance for a variant to develop.
Lauren is set to receive her second dose this week and hopes we truly are turning the corner.
I think it's giving people hope. I think it's great for our kids. I think it's great for adults, just socially, if we can get back to normal. Let's do it.
Doctors are still trying to build confidence with the demand for the vaccine softening. The healthcare district of Palm Beach County says its mobile unit will be at the South Florida Fair Monday night, offering both the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines. In Palm Beach County, Ryan Hughes, WPTV News Channel 5.
Ford announced on Monday that it's recalling more than 600,000 Ford Explorer vehicles across the United States due to an issue with roof rail covers. The company said the roof rail covers on select 2016 to 2019 Ford Explorer vehicles could become detached while driving and create a problem for others on the road. According to Ford, the affected vehicles include base and XLT trim levels, as well as Police Interceptor and Explorer Sport models with roof rail covers that are painted silver black or absolute black. Recalls have also been issued in Canada and Mexico. The automaker said they're not aware of any accidents or injuries related to the recall. Dealers can secure the roof rails. The reference number for the recall is 21S22. Lastly, CareerSource Palm Beach County is on a mission to help veterans get back to work or find a new career. The organization is holding a veterans employment workshop tomorrow morning from 8:30 to 10:30. The free workshop will offer veterans a wide variety of assistance, and to find out more or to request a seat, you can call 561-340-1060, extension 2315. And if you would like that number repeated, call us right here at the morning show at 220-9788, 220-WSTU. Lakers star LeBron James is planning to return to action either Tuesday against the Knicks or Wednesday against the Rockets, according to Yahoo Sports' Chris Haynes. And according to Yahoo Sports, James had 2 really good days of workouts at a high level and feels great. And LeBron James has not played since May 3 when he exited Los Angeles' 121-114 loss to the Raptors midway through the fourth quarter with soreness in his right ankle. News time is 8:50. We'll have weather and traffic together next.
$8:51 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. Let's take a look and see what's going on the highways and byways. Here's Bonnie.
Well, in St. Lucie County, there is an accident on I-95 southbound in Fort Pierce. I-95 southbound, it's at mile marker 125, and we're not showing any roadblock. Back here in Martin County, on our major highways, US 1 good right now. There's your latest look at traffic. 73 in Stewart this morning, also 73 in Port St. Lucie. And here's more on our forecast at WPTV.
Happy Tuesday, sunshines, waking up to temperatures in the mid to upper 70s under partly skies. This afternoon, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s with heat index values in the mid 90s. We'll see partly sunny skies throughout the day, then a 20% chance for showers and storms. Tomorrow, highs in the low 90s with a 40% chance for scattered showers and storms. Wet weather for Thursday and Friday starts to move into the area, staying steamy through the end of the work week with highs in the upper 80s, slightly cooler, a little less humid by the weekend with highs in the mid 80s.
I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Katya Hall on WSTU AM 14's Heritage Station.